What's up, YouTube? So I've been getting a lot of questions from you all, startup founders, business owners, friends, family. The list goes on and on of people that are asking me about AI, whether it's how to build their app, ideas that they have, how it's affecting their careers, how to use it for productivity in different use cases. I've been getting those questions every day. So I wanted to make a video to finally address some of those common questions I have and just put this out into the universe, and hopefully it helps you. Question number one, do I use AI? Of course. I've been using AI for 3+ years. And when I mention using AI, I mean generative AI. ChatGPT, you probably heard this 100 times, was released in November 22. I started using generative AI in January 2023, building with it, solving problems with it, figuring out how to summarize files, how to extract knowledge from documents and databases that I had by building with AI, right? Or building tools using AI or integrated with AI. So I learned a lot along the way. During that time, I was at AWS. They hadn't launched Bedrock yet. When they launched Bedrock, I was a part of giving feedback. I was a part of the launch and just helping it grow to where it is now. So I have a unique perspective because not only have I been a part of this journey as we progress, but I actually use it, build with it, talk about it, teach it, all these things. So I use it all the time from different angles. Now, number two, what are my top AI tools? The top AI tools that I use is going to be Claude, whether it's the UI version, the GUI version that you use with the chatbot, the desktop version that has Claude Code, Claude Design. I use Claude Code. I use ChatGPT. I use Gemini, and I use all the APIs for building applications and for integrations. I would say Claude and the Claude family may be the top APIs that I use in production apps, but for cheap, trying to get an MVP, get something to work, I'm either using GPT because the prices are pretty good, or I'm using an open weight model either on my Mac, on my desktop, or in the cloud, right? I'm spinning up a GPU and I'm using the open source model or open weight model like Quinn or one of those models. So I kind of use everything, right? Whatever's available, I'm trying different tools and I'm seeing how they can help me and how they can integrate with apps that I'm actually building. Question number three is, do I think AI will take jobs? Answering this question is not about taking a job itself. Let's just think about history. There have been times when jobs have went away. I remember telecom techs, right? When VoIP came out, those telecom jobs kind of evolved and went to VoIP engineers to now you just have network engineers, right? I don't know how many VoIP engineers are still around. The skill set and the things that need to be done, that technology evolves, and through technology evolution, jobs go away. And so when we look at AI taking jobs, I think back to my days in the military before I got out. I got out in 2007 from the Air Force. And at that time, it was do more with less. That was the mentality of the military. And so I look at where we are in the industry today. It's do more with less, right? If me as a business owner, right, or you as a business owner, you want to make the most amount of money possible with the least amount of cost. Whatever that operational cost is, you want to keep that low. And so if you can find different tools to help your teams get more done, why not invest in it? So what I think when it comes to taking jobs, I think what will happen is you have people that will figure out how to use tools and create tools to automate tasks or to take on tasks that may be a part of someone's job role. So the whole job may not go away, but a task will go away. And so the more amount of tasks in your job profile that gets automated, how much is it actually left for you to do? Well, what happens is that job may no longer get backfilled, or there is a chance for a layoff, and that work that isn't automated may get offloaded to someone else. We're doing more with less. That's my thoughts, and that's what I'm seeing. Question number 4, is AI safe? There's levels that I think to safety. I think when you're using AI, you find a lot of discoverables of what it will actually generate. And when you're building agents, you may discover capabilities that your agent has that you did not know were possible. And that could be because you didn't have guardrails in place or because your agent wasn't sandboxed, right? We'll talk about agents here in a minute. But when it comes to AI just going rogue, well, that can kind of happen when the AI goes off and does something you didn't expect. Yeah, if you dig into the prompts, if you dig into the tools, if you dig into your workflow, you'll find how it went off the rails. The problem is that you didn't have the guardrails and safeguards in place. Now, question number 5, is AI a bubble? Yes, it is a bubble. And here's why I say it's a bubble. I do think the technology is good. I do think it's going to be used for years to come. But when we talk about eliminating jobs, when we talk about the gains around AI, having used AI for the last 3 years and tried to apply it to my entire, not just job and the roles that I do, but life that I live, it's a long way off. And so what I find is that you'll hear the promise of what AI is, right? And what you actually find and what you actually see once you actually use the thing or apply the thing to your idea is that there's a lot of gaps, right? And I think right now there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of selling of that excitement. And so eventually that dies down. I'm a sneakerhead. And at one point people were lining up around the block and some to get a new pair of sneakers. That doesn't happen as much. You look at Bitcoin and how that was just going crazy. You look at the .com and how that was, and it's just not the same. And so the excitement of a new model, I think we're kind of coming down from that. Now, I do believe that there are particular providers like Anthropic that does great marketing, right? The promise of it taking jobs and eating all software, no, like software developers are still in business. These same companies that say that are still hiring software developers. So I think eventually, we'll all come back down to reality and then figure out how to actually get things done with AI. And I think we're kind of getting there now because there's been a lot of improvements. Number 6, what are AI agents and why is everyone talking about them? When it comes to agents, the most simplest form is you have a large language model, you have context, and you have tools that connects to the large language model. And all of that is operating in a loop. It's software. And so agents creates the capability for you as an employee or as someone that just wants to use it in your business to say, hey, I have these customers or the CRM where I need to manage my customers, right? I want to offload some of this to some agents. Now the agents can access email, it can access your databases, it can do a lot of things and reply to clients. And so when we talk about OpenClaw or Hermes agent, they've done all of the heavy lifting for you. So you don't have to worry about writing the software. Same with Claude Code, because it's an agent as well. Now you just install it with Claude Code or Hermes agent. You tell it how you want to connect to it, whether it's iMessage, Discord, or some other interface. And then from there, you can just start chatting with it, and then it's able to use tools, create its own tools in the form of skills, and then go out and take particular action. So if you understand your workflow in your business, you can write a skill, install it to something like Claude Code or Hermes Agent or OpenClaw, and now it'll know how to go out and do that task if it has all the access and the resources it needs. So this leads us to our next question, and that is, can you make money with AI? Now, to answer this question, yes, you can make money with AI, but there's some caveats. The making money with AI, the opportunities are there. Even people that are doing faceless YouTube channels, they're using AI from beginning to end to make them money. But the problem that I see is that, for one, you got to worry about a provider, doing whatever wrapper thing you have. And for two, you got to really understand the lane that you're going down. So it's not about AI making money for you. You actually got to have the knowledge of the thing that you're trying to make money in. And so if you keep the human aspect and the control of what you're trying to build and you focus on your idea and not turning it over to AI, I think you can really be successful. And that's what people are really optimizing and maximizing the opportunity, is because they're using their expertise and their domain knowledge, finding ways to apply AI where it makes sense. And that's what you really got to focus on. Question number 8, what AI skills would I learn if I was starting my career today? Right now, I think learning AI skills, the fundamentals of prompting, the fundamentals of RAG, the fundamentals of how to start building agents. Now, what that looks like, you can go pretty deep in that rabbit hole when it comes to AI skills, but just understanding how to build an agent and how to deploy an agent, I think I would start there. And that will get you started on a path where you have a clear understanding of where we are in today's industry. Okay, number 9. If AI went away, how would I feel about it? If AI went away, I don't think I would be that mad. I actually enjoyed life before the algorithms, before AI, before all that. I really enjoyed what I did in tech. I really enjoyed my relationships. I really enjoyed life in general. And so because AI makes everything so accessible, fingertip, instant generate, is that the quality, the value of the thing has kind of decreased for me. The excitement that I would have in building an application or creating a thumbnail myself or just doing anything related to creativity that I would get when I actually did it, when I use AI to actually produce it, it's not the same. I don't value it as much. Okay, number 10 and the last one on the list is things I never give AI. This is more so of a best practice that I follow when I'm using or building with AI. When I'm using ChatGPT and I'm using Claude, I turn off memory. Now, this may sound weird. You may want AI to know everything about all of your previous conversations and learn about you. I don't. I want you to answer my question as unaffected by anything you know about me unless I provide you that information. I don't want you confused. I want to control the boundaries of this conversation. Knowing about me, that is not useful. We are not friends. Like, you are my helpful assistant, and I like that. Every time I go into the room, it knows nothing about me and it can just do the work. I really value and appreciate that. The next thing is I turn off training and learning in my accounts. I'm not giving you my data for free, right? I'm paying for the subscription, but I'm not going to give you my information to turn over. Now, what they do on it behind scenes, I don't know. But if I have the option to turn off learning, I turn that off. So that way they're not learning from the data that I provide them and the conversations that I have with the agent. The next thing that I make sure to provide safeguards around is that I never give it my banking information, my account information, my specific PII, my social security number, all of that I never give AI. Even on the systems that I use, I try to put AI in a sandbox so that way it can't access my local system. Now, granted, I do give it access, but I try to control and put hooks and different things in place just to have that. But AI is kind of eating the world right now. It's on your phone, it's on your laptop. It's basically going to be baked into everything. So whatever you can put guardrails and controls and safeguards around your information, data, and ideas, I do my best to do that, and I think you should too. But that's up to you. The last thing, and I think the most important thing outside of protecting your PII and your banking and all of that information is protecting your idea. And what I mean by that, I don't mean like don't work with AI to create your idea or think out your idea or give it your idea to improve it. What I mean is that when you have an idea and you're building with AI, stay in control because it's going to give you names for your idea, right? And if you use that name, think of a bucket. You ask Claude, you ask ChatGPT to say, hey, create a name for my business. Let's say there's 10 names in that bucket. It's going to pick one of those 10 names and give you that name. There are millions of people using this app. Imagine how many people are asking that same question for that same type of idea or even that same idea because they've worked with AI to come up with that idea too. So not only do they have your same idea, they have the same name because, again, it works off a distribution list that it uses probability to predict based off that amount in that bucket. So protect your idea. Your mind is the most powerful thing you have. Use it. Don't allow AI to think for you, right? Use AI to do the thing, right? Use AI to help you find the holes in your idea, but not do and create your idea in your mind. Use your mind. You stay in control of that. Protect your mind, protect your idea. That is how you will be successful in this age of AI. There's no way around it. I do believe like we will be back in like a Renaissance age where the most creative people will stand out, whether that's music, whether that's dance, whether that's writing. because AI really can't write. You recognize AI writing and nobody really likes it. But if you have a job, if you have a business, use AI, right? All of that is legal jargon. Use AI to do that. But if it's your personal, your own ideas, your own mind, your own creativity, you do that. That's where you need to stay in control. With that said, my name is Lightfoot. I hope you enjoyed this video. These are my thoughts on AI, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.